Before we wander on into the episode, I just want to make sure that everyone goes out there and hits up the YouTube, check out the Spotify, check out Apple, wherever you're listening or watching to this podcast, is to go down, like it, subscribe, hit the bell if it's YouTube. Make sure you're getting those reminders. We do put these out every week, so make sure you do all that. It helps us out, and in the long run, we can make better things. So again, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It's one of the oldest also in the West. So
fun fact.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit of a fun fact. So, there's just a lot you can kind of do, which is why I picked it as one.
We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility?
Clink.
Yeah. Clink.
Oh.
Well, it was off-timed. I don't know what it could be. Is it because it's the holiday? I don't know if we were off track. I don't know what it could be. But that clink, that was like that awkward handshake but fist bump switchback right there.
Because you weren't looking up. You weren't looking at what you were clinking. You were just clinking to clank.
No, I was starting a timer to see how long we go, to see how long it is. So when I have to be that guy, I know when I have to be that guy.
Exactly. So for the wanderers who don't know, who don't watch on Spotify or YouTube, if you haven't caught on to, and Mark cheers every time that we start the podcast. That's what the clink is. We're cheersing because we're doing this through Zoom. We're doing this through a computer, so we can't make the glass sound. I'm surprised Mark hasn't found a way to edit it yet. But
the reason why I actually haven't even looked, and the reason why is because I think it's character that we go clink.
I'm fine with that. I'm just giving you a hard time because it's always fun to give you a hard time because, it's that time to give you a hard time because we're back. It's another wonderful week of wandering ways and going this way and that way. So, man, how have you been? How are things? How is the nature, the rain out there in Oregon?
The rain hasn't come yet. The rain is supposed to come tomorrow. It's supposed to get real wet and real cold is the rumor. The cold temperatures have come, which is nice, but the wetness has not. But that's supposed to come tomorrow. We're supposed to have like a week of rain. Outside, telling you about the weather, which is like mostly what we talk about here, if we're being honest. But outside that, I've been busy. I've been busy at work. My schedule has been stupid crazy. I go for runs through trails, pavement, all sorts of stuff. Really, that's about all I have time to do outside.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting out when you're doing that stuff because you could be running in a gym. You could be doing those kind of workouts and activities inside, and we are outside. This outside podcast is a nature podcast, the nature podcast, Wandering Ways. And yeah, same with me. I've been really busy. Work's been picking up, but kind of exciting news. We're in chats. We're in the cahoots. We're in the chats with Winnebago RVs and possibly working with them. So they're about getting outdoors. So let's figure out a Wandering Ways thing to do there. No. But they got some good stuff and they're exciting. So that's been keeping me kind of, I'm not getting my nature fix, but my work fix is kind of nature oriented because you're thinking along those lines. But I got out, it's Halloween weekend. If you're unsure, this podcast is going to come out, I believe this week, right on the 2nd.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's be a couple days past Halloween when this comes out. So
me and Thea, for Saturday night, we went to our good place. Go check last year's Halloween episode where we do ghost stories in Montana, and we highlight Chico, and we go to Chico for Halloween. We dressed up like Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
There you go. Isn't that a SpongeBob thing?
yeah,
Yeah, there you
they're
go.
the old guys always looking for the invisible mobile, or
I don't know. I didn't watch SpongeBob as a kid.
what's the old guy always yells something like danger.
I don't know. I didn't watch it as a kid.
Yeah, your parents sheltered you like Matt, but that's fine.
Yeah.
No, it was good. We had a great time. We went with our good friend Colton, my cousin, but our good friend at the podcast here. He has an episode with him. We talk about Zion National Park actually, but we went out. He was working on his truck that day, so we didn't really do much. We had plans to go fish the Yellowstone River with Jared, but that motherfucker, as we're pulling into the compound there at Prey, he gets in his Jeep to leave. It's almost as if like he saw we were getting close and was like, okay, like I want them to see me leaving, right? Because it was like as we're pulling in, he's leaving to take an hour trip into Livingston to go fucking buy weed. Didn't even like, oh, that's what I'm doing today. Like, I'm going to go buy weed. It's like you couldn't do that this morning when you were up and about. Like before I got there, it's like you knew we were going fishing. And then I called him. I was like, well, what do you want to do? I'm talking to Colton. And he's like, I don't know, man. I got this like deep tissue massage on Friday. And I was like, oh, on your work day? And he's like, yeah, I'm really sore from that. So I don't want to like paddle a boat. And I'm like, well, Colton's got oars. We can all, or canoe paddles. We can all do a raft together. It's like the river's it's not windy and the river's not moving fast. So like, we'll be fine. And he just wanted to bitch. And it was like, it wasn't even worth it. And it's like, but you asked me to bring my life vests, my waders, my fishing poles, my tackle boxes. It's like stuff I could have left in Billings.
I'm kind of jealous of this deep tissue massage. I'd like to get one.
Yeah, so good. His massage is so good. He just doesn't want to do anything the next day. That lazy.
You get a good massage, that shit will put you out. Although only for like a day. But
no,
that's kind of a bummer, man. I mean, what did you end up doing?
We just went, honestly, we went to Chico, or we went out to eat, went to Chico Hot Springs, and went to the bar and did the Halloween costume contest. We didn't win. We should have won. Like they did like this whole thing where like they called everyone up, and like Mario and Peach, they got second, and like no one cheered for them.
Oh, like, they did the whole cheer thing where
like, no one cheered for that.
This, but everyone's like, ah.
Yeah, but they got second. Like, but it wasn't that. It was just like, come on up, do your little circle, and people will cheer, and then we'll judge it. And then like the Mario and like Peach, like no one cheered for them. No one did, and they got second. I
don't know. What did you expect at the middle of nowhere, Montana?
I don't know. They chose the Three Blind Mice as the winner.
Yeah.
Which like seen it done before. Like, but it was like,
can still be a good costume.
It was like these three old ladies, so that's probably why. And then like Zoolander, they were like a group of like 5 of them that.
Oh, nice.
Makes like, yeah, it made sense because it was like a big group. It's like to get enough people to do something like that, that's cool.
Yeah.
But like the staff, they all dressed up as something. I forget what. But Chico, it's always a good, fun place. And, it's Chico. And we stayed up late, had good fun, took our time in the morning, went to the old saloon, got our breakfast, and just hit the road because it was just like, yeah, if we just want to sit here and stare at each other, let's fucking do it at home. Not
fair. Real question, though. I know it's on everybody's minds right now listening. Did you see a ghost?
At Chico? No.
Yeah.
No. But I haven't told you this. So here's your little ghost stories. Woo! At the office. And you've stayed at that office. I was in the basement doing my thing, moving all that shit, right? Box and stuff up. There's these 4 like small paint cans, not the large ones, but just like not the gallon ones, but just like a little bit smaller. So like, but enough to where it's like you carry 1 in each hand kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as I put them into the box, right, you put 2 and then you put another 2, right? It fit 4 perfectly. Like the size of like I wasn't paint, but it was like the like for wall. Drywall.
Yeah, I think like primer or something. I don't know. I'm not a paint guy.
Yeah, but it's not paint. It's the drywall, like the patching shit.
I'm not one of the.
Yeah, it's not that podcast. But
I have a very unique set of skills. This is outside of it.
Fair. No, but I put those in there. I put 4 of them in there because, like, why would I not do 2 and 2? Like, I remember being like, okay, yeah, fits 4 perfectly, right? Okay, and if I were to take one out, okay, if I were to take one out, I would probably set it next to the box that I'm packing all the shit in, right? So I go out throughout the day, do my thing. I come back downstairs. There's only 3 of those cans in the box, and one of them is right where I like initially grabbed them all from. And I was like, I cleaned that area up. Like,
did you though?
I did.
I'm playing devil's advocate. You know, I run into this kind of thing all the time. Like, I was getting a cup of coffee this morning. I give them, my card to make my payment, get my coffee, and I go, oh, wait, did I get my card back? Well, yeah, I did. But I don't remember that moment. So is this a moment that you just truly forgot and you think?
No, because I remember measuring all 4 of them in there, like thinking will all 4 fit.
I don't know. I'm gonna say malarkey.
I think if anything, it's the ghosts of that building basically saying like, "Oh, we don't want you to leave." Like,
yeah, I'm sure ghosts want people to stay in their domain.
Hey, they might have liked us there. They might have enjoyed like, wow, we have a little more freedoms because you guys are treating this like an office building, not like apartments like the new owner is going to make it. Like you guys leave at the end of the night. We have this place to ourselves. I don't know. I took it as a good sign, but I fucking walk in that. I've had too many experiences in that building that like you just have to chalk it up as like, yeah, there's something. But to me, I don't think ghosts are really there to hurt you or harm you or kill you, right? Because we would have record of that, really, But in reality, I think they're just trying to communicate, and they don't know how. That's the best of those interactions we have with ghosts. That's the best way they can communicate with you at that time if they're trying to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge believer in the old ghosts.
No ghost at Chico, just good times, good views, beautiful. And that, like Paradise Valley, it wasn't even windy on Saturday. Perfect day to fucking float the river. Perfect fucking day.
If you get Paradise Valley on a non-windy day, it's pretty hard to beat.
That's why it's called Paradise.
Well, that's only if it's not windy.
That's what I mean. And it's never not windy in Livingston, right?
I've been once.
Always windy.
No, but speaking Chico, what's nice about Chico is it's not really a city, but it's next to a city or a smallish town, which is next to a lot of cool shit. And I'm not talking about cool shit in nature, although there's some cool shit in nature in that area. I'm talking about what we're here to really talk about today, which is another fabulous Wandering Ways top 5, and it's top 5 touristy cities, small cities, kind of a base camp best kind of city. It's a good place if you're not trying to camp that you can make as a home to then go off and adventure around. But we're not talking big cities. So we're not talking the LAs, the New Yorks, the Chicagos, the Bostons, the Portlands, the Seattles. We're not talking those. We're talking smaller cities here.
Mine honestly are real small. And that's kind of where I went, with not real small, but like I kind of went with the trailhead aspect of like, if I'm going to these parks, what's a cool place to stay at? What's a cool place to stay? If I'm gonna be there for like 2-3 days, and that's it. Cause it's like after that 2-3 days, to me, some of these places get kind of like, you've seen it. You've been to the McDonald's there 4 times, already for every meal.
Yeah. For me, the way I did it, the way I thought of this is it's a place you can sleep, but it's a place where you leave early in the morning, you're out adventuring all day, and then you come back and you can either just stay wherever you're staying, Airbnb, hotel, whatever, or you can go and hit the pub, hit kind of the nightlife of these smaller cities, and there's still plenty of stuff to do to really jam pack your day. That's kind of how I thought of it.
Right. No, I like that because that's all that like I look at these cities on my list and it's like, yeah, I could see that, but I could also see it's like, oh, you didn't want to go on the hike with your friends that day, but you wanted something to do. I think that town or that little community would have something for you to do as
There
well.
you go. All right, so let's just jump on into it. What is your number 5?
My number 5 guy. First I kind of want to hit like an honorable mention because like I thought of this one, but I've never spent time there. I just want to bring it up. Escalante, Utah, because I want to get back there.
Okay.
Yeah. But number 5, Crescent City, California.
Crescent City.
And you're like, this fucking guy, why would you choose that?
Yeah, for real. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, you got like, what I like about Crescent City is its location to both Oregon and the California Redwoods. Because that, like, if you're in Crescent City, is kind of the southernmost aspect in my mind. When you look at the Oregon coast, which I've had this conversation with so many people, right? The Oregon coast to me is Northern California right there, where the like Pacific Highway is close to the coast, goes up all the way to Port Angeles up in Washington there. That to me is basically the Oregon coast of the Pacific.
Okay.
Because it's very similar both in Washington and California at this point. So if you're wanting to see the Oregon coast, it's a good starting point or ending point of that, of like the whole drive, I feel like. It's a great place to get into the Oregon caves if you want to get into Oregon, you want to get into the foresty aspect of that, as well as getting into the redwoods, which I mean, I like the redwoods a lot. And that Airbnb we had there was pretty legit, with the bedroom view. Like it was one of those Airbnbs where like we shared it with other people. We're just renting the room for the night kind of thing. It was kind of weird. But we had the best room. Like when you open up the window, you could see the Pacific Ocean, the largest ocean in the world.
Yeah, and the deepest ocean in the world.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, but no, that's true. That Airbnb, I mean, I like the random, just like you're basically renting out a room. I always get a kick out of that. No, Crescent City, I get why you put it for the proximity to a lot of things. Believe it or not, it's actually very, very, very similar to what I put for my number 5.
Oh, I like it. So we can kind of.
Yeah, my number 5 is actually just a tick south in Arcata, California.
And that one, honestly, is a little more touristy.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit more to do at night, which is why I thought of it, because you're in the. You can go check out the redwoods all you want. You can go hit the beach up. You're not terribly far from Oregon if you want, but in reality, you can get everything you want in that area. But there's more stuff to do outside just the nature. So if you wanted to go hit a pub up at the end, there's not a whole lot, but there is more than Crescent City to go and do some stuff like that. I know the area a lot more than like a Crescent City, even though I know Crescent City fairly well as well. I just think it's better. It's a little bit more small towny kind of. It's not like that traditional kind of tourist town feel.
Well, and one of my favorite things about Arcata that I like that you pointed out to me, one was the farmers market, great farmers market.
Well, the farmers market is pristine.
But the homeless there. And and I wouldn't even necessarily call them homeless, like more so transients is a better word for them, because like it's the way you said it, it's a stopping place for them. Mm-hmm. So like it's a destination in the sense of like, let's go up and down the Pacific Ocean, this coast. And Arcata, it's a stop for just some weirdos. And if you want to see some weird people, it's a cool little spot.
Oh, 100%. The people watching in Arcata is it is quite honestly, I think, some of the best in the world. It rivals airports. Airports are truly the best people watching.
Because
Um,
that's just a giant melting pot.
oh, 100%.
I
That's why.
love what I love about airports is don't look up at the TV, but you look at the people and you try and guess where they're going. Like, oh yeah, you are going to Oakland, or oh yeah, that looks like a flight to Minnesota.
Yeah, that. And then I like to try and figure out like why the family's traveling. Like, are they going home? Are they going somewhere? Like, are they going on like a little family vacation? Is it a business trip? I like seeing doing that because man, some people you can almost like feel their stress when you're in an
Oh
airport.
gosh, like that bougie ass family that went to Hawaii with us on that flight. We got to Phoenix, they were bougie as hell, and the next day they weren't though because they had to wait. It was so great because you're like you're one of those families. You dress up all to the prim and proper.
Yeah, no man, they were like I'm trying to they had like designer clothes. I mean, they were
Coach,
like
Louis
yeah,
Vuitton,
designer
Chanel,
baggage. And then the
up
next
and down.
day they really kind of dressed more slummy.
Well, casual, huh?
Yeah, a lot more casual.
Yeah,
But no,
well, yeah.
people
We're not here.
watching aside, Arcata, because it's in the heart of the redwoods. You got Avenue of the Giants, the Sequoia Zoo, where you can walk up in the redwoods, top of the redwoods there. You can go to the beach. There's some great beaches. You can go inland a little bit, hit up the Trinity Alps. If it's your thing, also like the marijuana in that area is the best in the world. This isn't me saying it. This is actually other people that
This
have
is
like
like guys like Wiz
smoked around the
Khalifa,
world.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. They say like this is the best weed in the world. So there you go. But yeah, Arcata, my number 5. Your number 4.
You've been here. They've experienced some terrible flooding. Good old Red Lodge, Montana. I like Red Lodge. It's that hour trip from Billings. It's the Billings mountain town, right? If you're in Billings and you're going to the mountains, you're going skiing for the weekend, 99% of the people, I swear to God, are going to Red Lodge. Arguably, I've heard this, and these are from big time skiers. I've heard them say Red Lodge gets some of the best snow in the entire country if it's a good year. If it's a bad year, you call it Rock Dodge. But it's a good hill. Big Sky even bought it. So they're going to be running Red Lodge Resort. In the winter, they have like a Christmas stroll. It's a place where I go and cut down my Christmas tree out in the forest there. You come back into town after cutting it down and you go get your Red Lodge pizza, the Red Lodge Pizza Company. I don't know. It's just a tourist town. They got the 4th of July rodeo. They have like right before Sturgis, the end of July, beginning of August, they have like a motorcycle rally where they're like hyping people up to who are probably going to Sturgis or out. Biking's big in the summer. That little downtown is very cute. You're close enough. A lot of people will go there for hunting, elk or deer. You're right in the summer again, camping the Beartooth Mountains in the backyard. You go right up them. There's tons of camping to do up there. There's fishing. There's Yellowstone Park, which it's that close to that northeast entrance. It'll take you all the way to Cook City, which is good. Just all around good American town.
There you go. Gotta love an all around good American town.
I like Red Lodge.
Mine,
Yep.
not in the state of Montana. So I'm going to differ away from you for this one.
That's fair.
In reality, if I'm being kind of honest, it's not a whole lot different from like an Arcata for me, mainly because of its proximity to the Pacific Ocean, and that's Astoria, Oregon. It's
basically your back door.
Yeah, it is 100%. It is. So it feels a little bit like cheating, but at the same time, it doesn't because there's a lot you can kind of do here. You can go out, do a lot of different nature as things. You can go hiking. You can go hiking up the river. You can go to the ocean. You can do kind of more of a historic thing with the whole Lewis and Clark kind of aspect to it. You can go surf. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can hang out also in the little city of Astoria. Astoria is the oldest town in Oregon. um it's one of the oldest also in the West. So
Fun fact.
yeah, it's a little bit of a fun fact. So there's just a lot you can kind of do, which is why I picked it as one. Again, anywhere that has a good spot that you can stop in late in the evening is going to get a lot more of the votes for me.
No,
Um,
that's fair. And Astoria is it's good, like you're saying. They have a good like brewery scene as well there.
yeah, they have great beer, top
And
notch.
it's one of those. Like it's one of like it's almost worth it if you're in Portland or you're in Oregon and you're like, let's go to Seaside because that's the coast. That's what everyone does, Cannon Beach and Seaside, to just drive up north a little bit further and go to Astoria and get that history and that historical stuff and dive in even into Washington right there is kind of cool if you can go across the bridge and check
It
that out.
is. It is
It's
very cool.
it's a cool spot. I like that corner of Oregon. You're from that corner of Oregon, which is cool, I guess. Um, it's yeah, like Lewis and Clark, the history there, the Columbia River. You sometimes get whales swimming up a river right there in Astoria.
You
Um,
do. You really do.
it's neat. I like it.
But yeah, no. So that's my number 4 is Astoria. We're going to keep chugging along here. And what is your number 3?
So I've talked about this place before. It's from my birth state of New Mexico, a good little town up in the hills, right on the Colorado New Mexico border called Chama, New Mexico, Chama. They have one of those old coal trains that you can drive up, or you can ride it into southern Colorado. There, it does like a loop and takes you back. Um, it's right, like it's my childhood, I guess. Was going to Chama. There wasn't much there, like a Family Dollar store or ranch store, maybe a grocery store. I don't really truly remember what all the town itself had to offer, but like there's so many like rivers and lakes in northern New Mexico around that area. Jumping into Colorado, like it's so close to I want to like Pagosa Springs, Colorado. It's close to the Pecos River, which is just a beautiful river. One where people like will go down in Colorado and paint the aspen trees, changing colors. It's that beautiful of an area. It's one of those places where it's like I've seen a herd of 300 elk just on the road.
Yeah.
It's just cool. You see those big ass herds. Black bear, big in the area. Bunch of black bears. They would always have these cages down by like where like our cabin area was, because it was kind of like a little community of cabins,
Mm-hmm.
and they were always moving them and stuff and relocating them up the mountain. And like I had a black bear follow us home one time. We were fishing and walked home, and my dad's like, I heard something following us. He got his spotlight out, and sure enough, there's a black bear walking down the path like 2 minutes like behind us, essentially. Yeah, it's a cool spot.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah.
We like cool spots. We like cool
Well, it's Chama in that area. To be real, like it's one of those ones where it's like I've been there enough, and we left when I was like 10. So like I have enough of a memory to where it's like there's certain things like I just remember driving up that big mountain to get down into Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and just some curves and bends in the road that's like if you brought me back, I'm like, oh yeah, this is that place, this is that spot. And I want to take you and Matt, because Matt's always like hyping up the northern New Mexico area, and this is one of those towns that it's like I could get on board with this.
Yeah. I always get a kick out of when Matt hypes the place up, because I'm always like, how many times have you actually been there, Matt?
Never sometimes.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
No. Yeah, speaking of Matt, he's doing it. He's doing that thing. He's being Matt, buddy. No, I won't get into that. I'm curious what your number 3 is.
My number three. My number three is actually not in the United States of America.
Boo. No, I'm just kidding.
We're
That's
going
fine.
north of the border. We're
Oh,
going north of the border to the city of Banff.
oh, good call.
Yeah, the city of Banff. It is really pretty. It's a really pretty city. There's a lot to do there. It's very touristy. It's very touristy, a lot of people, kind of expensive. So, it does that's some downfalls to it. But I mean, you're in Banff.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet to be in Banff. And then I mean, you could spend the whole day in Banff from sunrise till about dusk and then hit the pubs and just do your whole thing in the evening. I mean, this is a good spot to call base camp for sure.
I like that. No, I've seen pictures. I've told you before, the Wanderers know this, that if I could go back to high school and get on that ski trip that goes to Banff, I would.
Yeah.
Just because it's like beautiful. Everything you see up there is just beautiful. And it kind of
really
kicked
is.
myself. Like I kick myself now as an adult. Like there's some things as like a high schooler you just don't respect or have the same appreciation for. And
Just means you got to go now.
right.
There it goes. Just means we got to go now.
What are you doing next week?
Can't.
Can
Next
I
week's
know
a busy week at work, actually.
Well, see, that's what I was telling Thea on our drive over to Chico this weekend. I was like, I need like Mark and Matt around me because those two are two guys that are like, let's just waste the day in the woods today. Sure, that's fine. We're like going with like Colton or Jared. Something like Colton's got animals, so he's like he has a pet pig at his house.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah, he tried to eat my toes yesterday. I was walking out to my car barefoot, and the fucker's like, and doing his like pig thing. Like, get out of here, Bert, because his dog's Ernie, Bert and Ernie.
Oh, nice.
But he's got his dad's two dogs, so he's like, it's like a zoo there. So it's like you got things to do. You can't just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get on the river today. No, I gotta box them up, do this, and like Jared's not one to like spend a lot of time outside. So like I'm like, I need you guys because like we could do a Banff weekend trip essentially from Billings.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how far it is. Can't be terribly.
No, it's closer than where you're at.
That is true.
That's all that matters.
That is quite true.
All that matters.
That is very, very true. But so I was kind of thinking of getting into sport fishing again, but I feel like I need a good quality net.
Well, you know what, Reverend? I got the key solution for you. You know, our friends at Blue Ribbon Net make this eco-friendly aquafade bag, so you're not hurting the environment. It's 100% biodegradable. Plus, the wood is locally sourced, and it is also biodegradable, and it's just such a great company to use. The Blue Ribbon Nets, they're here in Bozeman, Montana, and we even have a discount code. That's right. If you use the code Rougarou10, that's right. That's my Jeep, the Rougarou. Rougarou10, RUGARU10. You're going to get some discount on a Blue Ribbon net. You know, you can get the long one if you're fishing the big fish, or you can get just the good river one, you know, if you're like me and just want to catch a lot of fish.
So again, make sure you go check out Blue Ribbon and use the promo code Rougarou10.
Hey there, Reverend. I heard that you might be running dry on your sticker supplier.
Yeah, I've been looking around and I've kind of like run out of cool stickers to buy and put on water bottles and stuff.
Well, I mean, have you seen the stuff Josh has been coming out with lately?
No, I have not.
Well, he is doing some really cool stuff with the Shop LS574. Yes, they're working with indigenous communities and making some really cool stickers. He has a really cool Buffalo Mountain sticker. There's even water bottles, hats, sweatshirts, the whole swag. And we even got a discount code for you guys. Yes, if you use Wandering Ways at shop LS574, you're going to be getting a discount on your next purchase. But not only that, you're going to be giving a percentage of that sale to the Little Shell Tribe, as well as they donate $1 of every sale to murdered and missing Indigenous women. So just such a cool thing going on there. You know, you use the code Wandering Ways, WANDERING WAYS, and you put that in there, boom, you're getting a discount.
You know what does matter though? A lot of cool shit, or at least some cool shit in nature.
At least to you, it matters. No, it matters to me too in the Wandering Ways podcast. But it's our segment.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I might be the only one who really truly cares about this.
Hey, I got last time I did an episode, was it with Matt Buddy? I was able to bring up cool shit.
You had some cool shit.
There we go.
You did. I'll give you that. It was some cool shit. But no. I've got some cool shit today. As per usual. I'll admit that. First one though, majestic view.
Okay, yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, and it's I believe an ibex just chilling on a house up in the mountains. Majestic view is right. If we're being
just sitting up on like a little, like, it reminds me of like those bighorn sheep you get up at the Logan's Pass Visitor Center in Glacier that like lay up against it all the time.
Yeah, it does. It does.
This guy's just up on the roof, up on the like chimney, dude. Not even just like laying on the roof. He's like, oh, the chimney has a little flat spot. I'm gonna be here.
Yeah, he's like, this is the spot right here.
And he's just like big too. Those big old and not antlers, because those would be horns on him, right?
I think they're still the same, aren't they?
On goats, I think they're horns, and he would like. I think you'd categorize an ibex, right, as like a.
Yeah, I think maybe. Yeah, you might be right. I actually don't know.
I think those are horns. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're horns, not antlers, because they don't shed those. Unless he does.
There you go. That's a good way to differentiate between the
antlers are shedding, horns are growth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, good.
This one, this is getting very close to a bear.
Yeah.
Some would say very, very, very close, but it's not in a like our usual aspect of when we talk about videos of people getting close to bears. This is a hunter who's camouflaged, and this bear comes up to him, and he's trying to keep his cool.
Well, I think the bear, just based on kind of the like move, I mean, it's kind of cool because it's like it's not a video. It's like a like slide by slide kind of video.
Mm-hmm.
And this bear, this kind of the like you look at its ears, you look at it's not aggressive, it's more curious, and you can tell by the way he's coming to that hunter that he's like, I know something is here. I might not see that something here, so I'm going to go sniff it. I'm going to go check it out, and he does. And it kind of right here, this last clip, right now, when he turns away, it looks like a bear, like I don't like this. I'm going away. But
yeah,
he has his bow drawn, ready to shoot it if he needs it.
Yeah, I mean, he's ready. I mean, kudos for him for not pulling the trigger too early, and kind of just sitting this one out. But because I definitely do think it's just a curious bear.
Again, we've had that discussion before about bears where a lot of deaths occur if the bear is like malnourished, if the person is really like aggressive or moving or doing something that the bear doesn't like, or you're getting in between a mama and her babies, and the mama and her babies usually is the one that ends up killing you. It's funny, like that one could have been just like a young boy, and I don't like you, because they don't eat people, you know. They don't, when they kill us, it's not necessarily them like, I want to kill you. It's, I want to play with you. And oh yeah, my razor sharp claws and me swatting you gave you a concussion, knocked you out, and ripped open your head all in the same, just like, hey, playful swipe.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, there's always outliers, but
right.
Yeah, for the most part, I think you're pretty spot on there. They not an aggressive bear in this standpoints. But anyhow, anyways, let's keep a chugging along with our top five, and we're gonna jump in back at it at number two. So what is your number two?
My number two is Gardner, Montana. So,
Gardner.
yeah, kind of over by Chico. I like Gardner. It was between kind of Gardner and West Yellowstone for this one for me because like they're equally just as great. West Yellowstone to me is more crowded, so that's why I chose kind of like a Gardner because it's like you still get the same vibe. You can go whitewater rafting, you can go hunting, you can go fishing, you can go hiking, you can get right into Yellowstone Park, you can find a place to eat, a bar like Mark likes to find. There's good both. You have Chico and Yellowstone Hot Springs nearby. Just some good quality small town. They don't have like they do have hotels, not a lot. They have good
We
Airbnbs.
stayed in one.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more of the downtown area doesn't really have like across
wow.
the bridge doesn't really have hotels. They're kind of out, but I like Gardner. It's a cool little Montana town, tourist town. You know, it's one of those towns you get outside right on. It's on the north entrance of the park.
Yeah, no, it's a good little spot. Not gonna lie. I mean, we whitewater rafted there. I've been there a couple times. Every time I've gone, I've really enjoyed it. It's a nice little spot, close to the park, close to some hot springs. All the stuff that you're looking for as like a nice little base camp when you're not camping. Gardner's got it.
It does, and it's got the campgrounds, it's got the hotels, it's got the Airbnbs, which is nice. I mean, it was funny. I saw Jared at one point was going to have this girl live with him at his place there, and she like took a picture. He showed it to me. Took a picture of like, here's my like rental places to like live here because she wants to like live there for like a couple of years as like a rental to work her job in like Paradise Valley, Gardner, right? Like all that.
Yeah.
And here's the Airbnb options. It was like 2 to 200 kind of difference. Like, holy crap. Like I have like two options and they're not that great. Or I can just Airbnb it and you can pick whatever the fuck you want, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I bet that area is flooded with Airbnbs.
Oh, I mean, why wouldn't it be? Why would it not be? I like to stay there. I like going there.
No, 100%. I know why. It's why that would be. But no, Gardner's a good little spot. So
Yeah. If it's the criteria.
fits the criteria. It does not, however, make my list, and it is not my number two.
What is your number two?
My number two, it's a fun little spot. I've been only twice. Both times I've enjoyed them very much. But we are going to Moab, Moab, Utah.
See, I haven't. Me and you, we really only spent a night there in Moab. So I like, yeah, that's a great one. That's like to me, Moab hits my honorable mention.
Oh yeah, no, I loved it. First time I went, I stayed in that hostel with Vince, and that was the absolute time and a half. I think it's a great spot to make his base camp to go out and do a lot of things. I mean, Canyonlands is right there, Arches is right there. So there's definitely those big ticket items, but I think there's also a lot of really cool stuff outside just the parks. I heard there's great mountain biking in that area.
Great.
Yeah. I've heard, there's always the Jeep stuff. I always hear you talk about that. So there's that.
Well, I would argue the Jeeping that's the place in the US. Like that's like my car itself has like Moab coordinates on its floor mats that Jeep put in there.
Could be. I don't know. I'm not a Jeeper. So, but very well could be. But no, it's great. I think if there was a knock on it, it's the pub scene is not the best in Moab, and that's just because it's in the state of Utah and there's restrictions on them. But I believe if it what I we heard someone, they were joking that they wish Colorado would take Moab.
Right.
um, and then Moab would be really, really cool.
Yeah, you see those like how the map, you know, that show, like how the states got their shapes, right? It's like you have these like square ones. It's like, well, Moab wanted a drink, so
Yeah, yeah,
Colorado adapted them.
exactly. That would be how Moab joins Colorado. The town of the city of Moab just wants a drink. So
Yeah, they're tired of sharing.
yeah. Um, but yeah,
That's
no, Moab is my number two. Love that place. I think it's a great little spot. So you all should go check it out. But that brings us to our number one on the list. What are we doing?
it's a good old East Glacier National Park.
There you go.
The town. No.
Enough said. Done. Wrap it up. Podcast over.
No, good call. No, I like it. You can take the Amtrak here. There's not much of a nightlife, I would say, in East Glacier. So I like. Sorry, Mark, doesn't score the points there for you.
Sorry.
But it's one of those places. You're in Glacier. It's a good place to stay. There's a good historic lodge. There's some fun little tourist shops and restaurants and all that fun stuff. And you're in East Glacier and like the east side. Like to me, when I look at Glacier Park, and you know, it makes my top five. It's I want to say it's like number one or number two on my list. I think Yellowstone's number one, and that's number two. But Glacier, that I prefer the east side to the west side. There's a lot less people. There's a lot more like cool views and just like cool shit. So I think like you'd like that because cool shit nature. I mean, you like Glacier. I know you've been here, but I had to make the comment there. I don't know. I think Glacier is one of those places. I've stayed there in kind of those small hotels. I've been into the big lodge. Browning isn't too far away if you do need to hit like a get supplies like a gas station, not gas station, but a grocery store type supplies, which is nice. But I don't know. Every time I go to East Glacier, I'm happy. I'm never in like a bad mood. You know what I mean?
There you go. No, I know what you mean. That's
I
good.
could be throwing up after a hike, and I'm still in a good mood.
No, I know what you mean. East Glacier is definitely. I mean, Glacier's pretty sweet, and East Glacier definitely keeps the name, keeps the vibe going pretty good. Anywhere on that east side is pretty spectacular. So
I like it a lot. I mean, it's Glacier. I mean, like Two Medicine, right? And that's where my family literally comes from, you know, Cinnapon, Rising Wolf. And you have just the Blackfeet history. So I guess I'm a little biased in that sense, but because you look at like some of the amenities I threw out in like a Red Lodge or Crescent City, and you're like, East Glacier doesn't really have those, but it has Glacier Park.
Yeah, no, 100%.
The greatest amenity of all.
That indeed.
What's your big time, big numero uno, the big cheese, the stanky number one?
My number one is actually, when it comes down, fun fact about this place, it is my favorite city that I've ever been to. Overall, all the way, if you include the big cities, this
Including
one,
the ones on the moon, huh?
yeah, yep. No, this is my favorite city that I've ever been to. I think it's the prettiest. I think there's a lot to do there. I love the people. I love the location. Everything about it is just all me. The statues there are literally flowers, which is super pretty. But it is also north of the border. It's in the country of Canada, and it is Victoria, Canada, on Vancouver Island.
Yeah. I've heard some great things about Vancouver Island that I'm just like, Mark, we just need to buy one of those like trek vehicles and just say Wandering Ways is going from Portland to Alaska and we're taking a year.
That would be fun. I would love to do drive up to Alaska. I think that would be a fun little trip. But no, Victoria, it really is. It's really pretty. It's probably the biggest city that I have on this list. You could possibly even classify it out of this classifications. You really could, but it's a great spot. I love it. It's one that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's a shame. You can ride a ferry straight into it from good old Port Angeles. I know this because I've done it. Um,
Well, I think too, like it gets overlooked by like a Vancouver
yeah,
because the that's the main hub. It's just like a port out because of where it's located. The proximity to the US as well as the proximity to like you're actually out on the Pacific Ocean
yeah,
versus being like in the like inlet. The
100%.
sound. I don't know what it's called up there. It's the sound down in Washington.
I think it's still technically the sound area. Um,
I'll pull it up on
although
it.
that Vancouver Island might actually technically be outside of the sound itself.
That's what I mean, but you said Victoria, right?
Yeah, Victoria is the southern point of it.
Oh, it's
Of
part of
Vancouver.
the Strait of Juan de Fuca.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
right on that. That's where it is. And then it dipped because there's like the islands and stuff.
yeah. Uh,
Yes.
but no, I love it up there. I'll go back. Um, especially in the spring where it's good. Great whaling, great clam chowder. Overall, it's really kind of my people. If we're really getting down to the brass tacks, it's people that wear flip flops in the rain. That's a good criteria on if I fit in with them. Very laid back, as the Canadians say, it's island life out there. So
Just a different type of it's what they say right?
yeah,
Island life
island life,
A,
eh? Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
like island life brah and
Yeah,
island life
yeah,
A.
yeah. Island life, eh?
They don't do that. They do it the other way. They go down with it.
There you go, and a lot more flannel.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, love me some good old Victoria,
It,
Canada.
I mean, from what I saw of it from Port Angeles, or from the top of Pyramid Lake, I was like, wow.
You can get a real good view of it there.
Right?
But no, uh, that's our top five of these smaller cities that you can classify as a base camp, small tourist esque like cities to go. So go check these out, all that fun stuff. Because we're done talking, because I've got to be that guy as we've reached our final words. And so I guess final words, my man.
Well, our final words from Zach, Ranger Zach, here today is, I just want to thank the Wanderers first off for making it this far. I want to say thank you guys. This is a fun podcast to do. It's fun to talk about these places. I was sitting here like wanting to get into the little honorable mentions. You got like your Sedona, Arizona, is a good honorable mention. And I'm blanking on the rest. So I think you guys got to send them into us at wanderingwayspodcast@gmail.com. That is WANDERINGWAYSPODCAST@gmail.com. And you can just let us know. We'll read them off here on the store, or the store, the podcast. We'll read them off and share them with everyone. And I'm super excited, guys. Like this, I need to get going. I need to get traveling. You've heard me talk about it these last few weeks about the itch I've had to get out. I tried getting out this weekend. And when it comes down to it, you can only trust yourself. So this weekend, yeah, my parents are flying in from Oregon to see me. So I'm going to go out into the woods away from them and go see nature because I've been wanting to so bad. Now, I'll see if my parents or someone want to go from there, but it is one of those. Go find your spot, go find your tourist town, take the whole family, or don't. All right, Reverend, let's hear yours.
There you go. Reverend's final words of wisdom. Stay beautiful, everybody. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you're checking out the stickers, all that fun stuff. Just things get busy, life gets busy. It's still important to get outside. Just mainly start with outside, and then from outside go farther into the woods. But even when life gets busy and things don't, you don't have time for big adventures, you still should be going outside, because it will really do a lot of good for you. There's a lot of benefits of just being outside. So go outside, do amazing things, be amazing people, because you are amazing people. And with that being said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.